How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered, where it is time to put an end to the Holy Grail War again. But this time, we have one enemy. It's just Gilgamesh. And Shirou is, I guess, going to go after him. He's going to be fighting Gilgamesh instead of Saber or Reen. So, this is going to be a fun one. I turn off the lights in the house. It's 4 in the morning. We leave the Emiya residence with a few hours left until dawn. We have our plan. There's nothing else to discuss. Now we just need to go to the battlefield and carry out each of our responsibilities. There's no guarantee that we'll come back safely. Well, until now, it's been a recurring event, but this time there is no guarantee that we'll return, and there is no guarantee the 2 other times that we left here. So I need to make sure to turn off all the lights in my house. Someone's standing in the garden. A blonde girl gazes up at the night sky, doing nothing in particular.
Oi! 何してるんだ、セイバー。
空を見ていました。それと、この家を。
She answers me in a very gentle voice. When we first met, she looked at this house with a different expression.
いろいろありましたから。ずっと覚えていられるように、心に焼き付けておきたかった。
Her voice. It reflects a determination that she might never come back, even greater than mine.
そっか。できればずっと覚えていてくれ。
I make a humble request of her from the windowed hallway.
はい。では私からもお願いします。あなたたちは私が守る。ですから必ず2人でこの家に戻ってください。
Well, that is the plan.
ああ、必ず戻るよ。
I mean, similar to the Fate route, this is going to be the last time Saber's here. She will disappear after this fight. That's just how it goes. And she'll disappear, supposedly without the Holy Grail in hand. It will be destroyed. That's the only answer I can give now. We're going to destroy the Holy Grail. And when that happens, Saber will leave too, because she is a servant. I'd like her to stay here. And she's even developed an attachment to our home. But that's a rule she can't break as long as she's a servant.
ちょっと、そこ何してんのよ。時間がないんだから急ぎなさいよね。
A voice beckons us from the front door. Tosaka seems to have finished preparations and is already at the gate.
では、シロ。
ああ、決着をつけに行こう、セイバー。
I turn off the last light and leave the house with Saber. Yeah, these farewells never get, easier with Saber. The thing is I really do like the connections that are created between Shirou and Saber. In the first route, a little annoying to get started, but eventually they figure something out. In this route, I feel like it's a lot more balanced, on both ends. The night is quiet. In the garden under the starry sky, the illusion of a girl gazing up at the stars still remains. I just really like Saber's character too. It took some time, but no, she is really cool. Our direction is set. Saber's going to breach Ryoto Temple from the front gate, while Tosaka and I will infiltrate from the back of the mountain. We plan to have Saber enter the temple slightly sooner than us to draw Gilgamesh's attention. We'll use the opening to sneak into Ryoto Temple from the back, stop the Holy Grail as soon as possible, and then back Saber up. Then I'll counter Gilgamesh's noble phantasm with my projection, so Saber can close in and finish him off. That's our only strategy right now. We gotta keep in mind the possibility of Assassin still being around, but I highly doubt he is. I do think he's out. There's a barely intact path in the hills behind the temple. Tosaka scales the slope as surely as if she'd scoped out the area beforehand. At night, the mountains are dark and sinister. The mountain is an inviolable, and spiritual ground, so it naturally repels us. While the dark mountain itself is dangerous to human hikers, it also embodies a sacred realm with high spiritual purity. However,
尋常じゃないわね、これ。生臭すぎて吐き気がする。
Tosaka gags, squinting at Ryoto Temple at the summit. Fishy is just her figure of speech. No, I wonder. There could be some fish afoot here. And there isn't actually a fishy smell coming from the mountain. It just feels bizarre. The air feels uncomfortably lukewarm, and it sticks to my skin. The life energy in the air feels so raw. I can't tell if I'm breathing or if the mountain's breathing. You know, one of the two has to be, right? I even hallucinate that we're hiking up a giant intestine, not a mountain.
今更だけど、シロ、体の調子はどう？
I don't know. Okay, I guess. What about you? Suddenly, Tosuga asked me how I was.
いや、調子はいいんだが、悪いというか。
It's obvious that she's asking this based on, you know, the ritual, because that was a serious one.
正直持て余してる。
I tell her my honest feelings. With this much magical energy, 10 or 20 projections would be a piece of cake. But you could compare it to putting a jet engine on a worn-out plane. I feel like I can't relax, as if I'll spring a fuel leak and explode if I lose focus.
うわ、贅沢な悩みね、それ。けど、ちゃんと成功してよかった。初めてだったから心配だったのよ。
First and only time.
心配？もしかして、本当は綱渡りだったのか？あの儀式って。
It could have gone wrong, I'm sure.
家庭じゃなくて、その後の話よ。シローに分ける魔力とセイバーに取られてる魔力のバランス。二人分の掛け持ちなんだから、セイバーの出力が落ちてるのはわかるでしょ？
そうか。そうだよな。
あのね、甘く見ないで。そんな不手際はしないし、セイバーに比べたらシローに分ける魔力は小さいからなんとかやっていけるわ。ただ、無理は効かないの。今のセイバーは一回しか聖剣を使えない。
I mean, that used to be twice.
聖剣が一度しか使えない？
And then she can't use it on Gilgamesh. We need Saber's noble phantasm to destroy the Holy Grail.
じゃあ、セイバーは切り札を封じたままでギルガメッシュの足止めをするのか？
Because we're the trump card now.
ええ。だから少しでも早く合流しないとまずいわ。セイバーがギルガメッシュを止められないと判断した場合。けど、そうしたらセイバーに後はないの。セイバーの聖剣でなければ聖杯は壊せない。だからその時は。
He holds his breath. When that happens, she's prepared to use the sacred sword knowing that she'll disappear afterward.
トサカ、それは。
仕方ないでしょ。これはセイバーが言い出したことなんだから。私が止めたって彼女は聖杯を壊すわよ。
Tosuga doesn't look at me as she murmurs. Damn it. What a fool she is. This is just as hard on Tosuga. She doesn't want Saber to disappear either. Then...
急ごう。ギルガメッシュにセイバーは渡せない。
当然よ。私のセイバーだもの。あんな奴に殺させないわ。
We run up a game trail. I know what we need to do. We'll stop the Holy Grail as fast as we can, and then go settle things with Gilgamesh. But it can't be that simple. There has to be more to it here, I'm sure. Well, here's our first interlude of this, of this final encounter. I guess we'll see what Saber's up to. Oh yeah, this looks good. This looks fantastic. The stairs up to the temple have never looked better. The mountain is rumbling. Dark clouds shroud the sky, and the trees seem to tremble nervously due to the tremors. Saber watches it all from the mountain gate. She sensed it as soon as she felt the noxious, indescribable aura oozing from Ryoto Temple. The Golden Servant isn't the only one awaiting her at the top of these stairs, yep. Assassin is somehow still around. Somehow Palpatine survived. Something aberrant lies in wait for her and her allies. She can't make any mistakes up ahead. If the summit is going to be the place where they die, then she will be the one to face the threat of death. She hopes the other two can survive this ominous realm. For their sakes, she can't afford to hold back. She can fire her sacred sword twice. She's well aware that she will disappear the instant that she uses it the second time.
構わない。もとより捨て身でなくてはかなわない相手だ。
Gilgamesh, the king of heroes. The only way to defeat the man with 1,000 noble phantasms is with a decisive strike from her sacred sword.
じゃあセイバー、30分経ったら始めて。
She recalls Reen's words. There is 1 minute left until the appointed time. Saber breathes in deeply and considers her condition. A breeze blows from the summit. She begins up the stone steps once the ill wind begins to shake the trees. She dashes up the steps in a single breath. As soon as she stepped foot on the stairs, the enemy would have realized her assault. The last servant she needs to defeat should appear within the temple grounds. She needs to get there as fast as she can and defeat Gilgamesh before Reen and Shirou arrive. She isn't defying her master's orders. She began her assault after 30 minutes just as Reen commanded. Even if she enters the temple grounds earlier than expected and engages Gilgamesh, that isn't a violation of her orders. She just deviated from her master's projections in the course of protecting her master's life. While the air from the summit is putrid, she is like a gust of cleansing wind that cuts at the rot as she ascends the steps. It will take her less than a minute to reach the temple. That should put her about 5 minutes ahead of Reen's projections. It will give her plenty of time to end the battle with Gilgamesh. She runs, enduring the ominous chill from the mountain gate. Like a silver speeding bullet, she races toward the summit. Just as she comes up to the gate, here we go. She didn't mean to stop, but she comes to a sudden halt. Sweat coats her forehead. Saber gazes up at the mountain gate in astonishment.
待っていたぞ。よくぞ間に合ってくれた、セイバー。
A smooth voice cuts through the night. How's it going, assassin? Moonlight glints off the 5-foot-long sword. Why is this sword so goddamn long? I'm pretty sure we actually read about it before, but fucking Sephiroth ass. An enemy that should not be here stands at the top of the steps.
Assassin.
Her voice lacks its usual grace. She's faced with an enemy, an obstacle that should not be here. That fact robs her of her composure.
どうしたセイバー。私がいるのがそれほど不思議か
A little bit.
私はここの門番だとお前は承知しているはずなのだが
His voice is delighted yet cool. The swordsman seems completely unchanged, his back to the ill wind from the summit.
バカな。なぜここにいるアサシン。あなたはキャスターが呼び出したサーバントだ。
通常のサーバントならばそうであろう。だが私は
Yep,
ちと
there it
特
is.
殊でな。この身を縛っているのは人ではなくこの土地なのだ。
Castor may have been his master. However, he's being fueled by the land, by the temple.
お前たちがマスターと呼ぶよりしろ。私にとってはそれがこの三門ということになる。
Well, it's not like the...
土地がよりしろだと。
It's not like the gate summoned him or anything. It was still Castor.
いかに魔術師といえど実体を持たぬサーバントにサーバントは維持できぬ。サーバントのよりしろはこの時代のものでなければならぬらしい。女狐は私を呼び出しよりしろにこの土地を選んだ。故に私はこの三門にのみ出現するサーバント。召喚者であるキャスターが滅びたところでこの三門がある限り消えることはない。
Well, that's fun. That's just a nice little fun addition here.
それも日雇いに過ぎんがな。女狐が私に与えた魔力はおよそ20日分。その限度がいつかお前ならば見て取れよ。
The swordsman explains in a sing-song voice and lifts his right arm. In his elegant garment, his pale arm is transparent like glass.
アサシン。あなたは。
Not much of him left here if he's starting to
見ての通
fade.
り夜明けまで持たぬ身だ。 20日の刻限などとうに過ぎている。ここまで持ちこたえたことこそ行幸と言えよ。
She looks up at the swordsman in shock. His aura emits neither bloodlust nor hostility. It simply demands combat. He desires a pointless duel to the death, irrespective of victory or loss.
では、私と戦うために残ったというのですか、アサシン。
Or whoever, you know?
言わせるなセイバー。口にすればつまらぬ言葉になり下がる。
Assassin chuckles. Saber can understand the swordsman's reasons, but she doesn't have time for this. Unless she hurries, her allies will arrive while she's, fighting Gilgamesh. No, in the worst case, they might arrive first and be forced to engage him without her.
そこをどけアサシン。あなたに門番を命じたキャスターは消えた。もはや門を守る意味などあるまい。
Saber takes a step forward. However,
いいな。もとより私に戦う意味などない。
he declares that the duel will begin if she proceeds any further. The tip of his long katana is pointed at Saber.
そう戦う意味などない。私には初めから何もないからな。英霊としての誇りも望むべき願いもない。
Yeah, I guess if we go back to the conversation of fakes, I guess he's the biggest one here.
いや、そもそも私が呼び出されたこと自体が間違いなのだ。何しろこの身は佐々木小次郎などではない。
Saber is extremely confused, as am I. I didn't mean to actually, mean what I said literally. Sasaki Kojirou. That should be the servant's true name. But Assassin has just admitted that he's an imposter. This route's just full of
そう
imposters.
驚くことでもあるまい。佐々木小次郎というものはな、もともと正体のない架空の剣士なのだ。
Yeah, that's what we learned a little bit earlier.
実在したとされるが、記された記録はあまりに不鮮明。ある剣豪の敵役として都合が良い過去を捏造された。人々の記録だけで剣豪とされた人物だ。確かに佐々木小次郎という男はいただろう。物干し竿と呼ばれる長刀を持つ武芸者もいたはずだ。だがそれらは一個人のものではない。佐々木小次郎という剣士は引き立て役としてのみ作られた架空の武芸者であったはずだ。
架空の英霊ですが、あなたは。
Yeah, again, I'm pretty sure that we were told about this by Caster.
そう、佐々木小次郎だ。佐々木小次郎というから、それを被るに最も適した剣士が私。私に7度ない。読み書きなど知らぬし、名前を持つほど余裕のある人間ではなかった。
Damn, you need wealth to have a name?
私はただ、記録にある佐々木小次郎の秘剣を披露できるという一点で呼び出された。偽りのサーバントであるこの身は長くは持たぬ。故に、キャスターも使い捨てとして扱った。そら、意味など初めからないだろう。たとえここで偉業を成したところで、報酬はすべて佐々木小次郎に与えられる。私には何も返ってこない。この身は自分すら定かではない。佐々木小次郎という役柄を演じるだけの名のない使い捨ての剣士に過ぎぬ。
The long sword sways. The swordsman created as a fictional character stands in Saber's way, prepared to fulfill his role.
だが、その私にも唯一意味があるとすれば、それは今だ。無名のまま死んでいった私に、もし望みがあったとしたら。
Then surely the nameless swordsman would have dreamed of facing a superior swordsman, something he was never allowed to witness in life.
アサシン。
She takes up her sword. There is no persuading this foe. The only response to a swordsman ready to lay down his life is to meet him with steel.
では始めよう。なに、元より花と散る好み。その最後、 そなたで迎えられるのであらば、これ以上の幕はあるまい。
His long sword sweeps through the air. Saber's sword parries the moonlit blade. The katana suddenly changes direction. If she uses her strength against this man, she won't be strong enough to face Gilgamesh at the summit. But she also can't afford to hold back against Assassin. No. Can she win even if she goes all out against him? The katana's attacks grow sharper with each swing. A fictional swordsman, a master of the sword with no noble phantasm, who can fight on equal ground with heroic spirits. She must settle this duel with him now. Yeah, this absolutely does throw a wrench into everything, but I feel like they should have expected this slightly. I don't remember who was actually told about Assassin, but I'm pretty sure one of these characters learned about the fact that casters summoned Assassin, and that, like, didn't Archer kind of hint at the fact that he was not there? Or maybe that was at the bad ending. Whatever. The summit is close. We'll arrive at the back of the temple grounds once we climb this hill. There should be a large pond there, untouched by humans.
見えた。あともう少し。
Tosaka climbs the slope, pushing the branches aside. I watch her back, keeping an eye on our surroundings. And then, just as the slope levels out onto flat ground, we come face to face with it. Ah, that's lovely. Ooh. Yeah, that is super lovely.
これは
That's Shinji, alright. It's a squirming hunk of flesh. The thing enshrined in the center of the pond seems to writhe and beg for help as it spews rotting black liquid around it. How big is that thing? The flesh hunk is slowly getting bigger. It looks like a floating island. The pond water looks muddy and sticky, as if there's an oil spill.
嘘だろ。あれが聖杯だっていうのか。
I avert my gaze, feeling uncomfortable. We had been breathing in that thing's exhaust as we went through the forest. Oh yeah, that's a fun way to put it. It endlessly spews out magical energy, polluting the pond. Its blood isn't colorless magical energy at all. The dark stuff is a visible curse. Even looking at the black mud gives me chills. The curse breaches my retinas. Oh wow. It hammers a single cold command into my brain. Yeah, I'm sure seeing that, like,
聞いてないぞ。
all over the place would be fun.
どうやって。
Stop it? The flesh hunk is about 30 meters away. The pond is shallow, so walking through the water shouldn't pose a problem. But pushing our way through the black mud would be suicide. It's a curse that erodes the mind just by looking at it. If we go into it, we'll be weakened and drown before we can even walk a meter.
あれ、破裂寸前よ。元からああいう形なのかどうかは知らないけど、器があんまりにも小さすぎたんでしょうね。中のものを抑えきれず、器を壊して溢れ出ようとしてる。
器を壊すって、それは。
神事が聖杯になってるなら、神事を壊すってことでしょうね。ほら、見える？あの山の奥、なんか人型らしきものがあるでしょ。
I follow Tosaka's line of sight. Within the rotting and growing flesh hunk, I do see something that looks vaguely human. Is he getting crucified? Torn clothes and a naked body, ugly muscles ripple under the skin, connecting the body to the flesh hunk. It's like the shape is different. It's a bizarre image, like a bunch of grapes shaped into a human form.
神事。顔は見えないけど、あの背格好は間違いない。
Okay, let's laugh at him before we proceed.
そう。で、生きてる？
I don't know. Fuck, I wouldn't want him to be alive during this shit, actually. He isn't dead, but I don't know if I can call that alive.
息はある。体だってまだ。
I can't say that I see anything like human limbs.
やっぱりね。もともと今回の聖杯は人型だった。なら、人間っていう部品を利用して動かすってことでしょ。神事は合わないからああなったみたいだけど、基本的に聖杯は 宿主に生きていてもらわないと作動しない。
けどあれは破裂寸前なんだろう。核になっている神事を壊すって。
それは仕方なくよ。そうなったら聖杯も何もない。ただ聖杯によって開けられた穴からあの得体の知れないものが溢れてくるだけだから、逆に言えばまだ間に合うわ。聖杯は起動しているけど、願望機っていう本来の姿になってなければ壊れてもいない。あの金ピカは穴だけを開けるって言ってたでしょ。あいつの目的は聖杯を起動させて器だけ壊すことなのよ。そうすれば
今みたいにあの得体の知れない泥が際限なく溢れ出てくる。
It's a little similar, but not as perfect looking as what we saw in the previous route. There's no time to consider it. We'll pull Shinji out of the flesh hunk and stop the Holy Grail.
トサカ、あの泥なんとかできるか。凍らせちまえば上を歩けそうだけど。
無理。ただの水ならいけるけど、あれはもう呪いに加工された魔力なのよ。形になった魔術を凍らせるなんて、そんなの氷結専門の術者で難しいわ。
そうか。なら
We'll just have to pray for good luck. Hey, you know, the good vibes come through here and there in this story. The only option is to cross the pond before the curse corrupts us and extract Shinji.
そのままで行く気？無理よ。あなたじゃいいとこ真ん中で飲み込まれるってば。
やってみなくちゃわからないだろう。もう時間がない。セイバーも今頃あいつと戦ってるはずだ。
I whirl around and move to protect Tosaka.
これは驚いた。
Hello, good sir.
まさか三度もその不出来な顔を見るとはな。
Gilgamesh sneers at us. Why is he still in this outfit? What happened to, like, his, armored look from the previous route? He appeared by the pond instead of the temple, as if he predicted our moves.
ギルガメッシュ？嘘。なら誰と戦ってるのよ、セイバーは。
Tosaka's words indicate that Saber's engaged with some other enemy at the moment. I don't know who that might be or how she ended up fighting them. There's no time to consider that right now. We're facing the worst person possible. This is the strongest servant whom we were supposed to take down as a trio. And now he's here, looking at us without Saber.
何？セーバーは不在か。つまらん。それではただ殺すだけか。
A terrible chill oozes from the sea of mud, while bloodlust radiates from the man in front of us. Noble phantasms hang ready and wait behind him. One wrong move and he'll skewer us.
いや、それでは芸がないな。本来なら有無を言わせぬが、今回は特別に許す。せっかくの客だ。そのせいにわずかばかりの猶予をやろう。
Oh, how kind of you.
猶予だと。
My fingers tense up and I glare at the enemy. My magic circuits are open. I've lined up 14 blueprints, as many as I can manage. If he snaps his fingers, I'll replicate as many swords as I can. And that should at least let Tosaka get away.
なんだ、言われなくてはわからんのか。眉が帰るまでの数分、そこでかかしになるがいい。あれも見届ける者が俺だけでは寂しかろう。この行く末を最後まで見届けるというのなら、そのせいにも意味がある。
How can I listen to that? Our objective is to stop the Holy Grail. If there's still time, then we need to rescue Shinji from that flesh hunk.
そうかよ。悪いがこっちは。
あんたの言いなりになんてならない。今すぐあの日会に行ってあんたの聖杯を止めてやるわ。
Before I can finish, Tosaka takes the initiative and stares down Gilgamesh.
ほう。
His lips twist into a smile. That laugh sounds like when someone decides to kill the person in front of them.
待て、トサカ、それは。
シローはここであいつを止めて。無茶だって分かってるけど、セイバーが来るまでなんとか持ちこたえて。シンジは私が責任を持って引っ張り出してくるから。
引っ張り出してくるって、お前。
分かってるわよ。あんなんでもさくらの兄貴だし、見殺しにはできないもの。それに 助けられるのなら助けるのがシロの心情でしょ。
She does have a point. Tosuka starts to run toward the dark lake. Is she going to go into that mud as is? What a lovely face. Truly a face only a mother could love.
なんだその滑稽さは。俺を笑い死にさせるつもりか、貴様ら。
That guy. He laughs condescendingly at Tosuka's determination.
てめえ、何がおかしい。
なんだ。お前はおかしくないのか、雑種。とんだ三流どもだ。あの呪いの中を進むだと？サーバントですら耐えられぬ呪いの渦を人間風情が踏破できるとでも思ったか。
私の底を甘く見ないで。この程度の呪いで染まるほど弱くないわ。それにね、私たちはあんたみたいに反霊体ってわけじゃない。ちゃんと生身のある人間なんだから、むざむざ飲み込まれてたまるもんか。
Wasn't she just telling Shirou that he couldn't actually go through it? She's obviously bluffing, but Tosuka might actually be able to get across if she says so. Like she said, Rin Tosuka isn't so weak as to lose to a curse like that.
そうか。ならば好きにしろ。もっとも。俺はそんな真似は許さんがな。
トレス。
Oh, here we go. A sword shoots forward. The sword flies toward Tosuka's defenseless back to skewer her.
Off!
Hey, wait a minute, he said trace off. But it's instantly deflected by my concho when I step in. I breathe heavily. I made it. Although I had prepared myself, this was the first time I had been able to project so quickly. It must be thanks to Tosuka's magical energy. At this rate, we might be able to...
貴様。
Murderous rage fills his red eyes. My projection triggers him to get serious. The noble phantasms behind his back increase in number.
シロ、
Behind me, I hear Tosuka's concerned voice. I don't look back, and I keep my eyes on the enemy with my concho at the ready.
トサカ、シンジを頼む。
That's all I can say to her.
任せて。すぐに連れ帰ってくる。
I hear the sound of splashing water. Yeah, that's not splashing water, though. That's like mud. Which, you know, fits the description of this shit. Tosuka jumps into the sea of mud without hesitation. Then I'm going to protect her. I won't allow a single noble phantasm to reach Tosuka.
お前の相手は俺だ。トサカに手を出したかったら、まず俺を倒しやがれ。
I take a step forward. This must have ticked him off. The golden servant takes his eyes away from Tosuka and focuses on me.
あの小娘はのたれ死ぬ。俺が手を下すのはあくまで慈悲だったのだが。
Yeah, we'll see about that. A swarm of noble phantasms point toward me. He ignites his murderous intent like a sharp blade.
その前に、貴様には思い知らせる必要があるようだ。薄汚い贋作者。
God damn.
その身をもって、真偽の違いを知るがいい。
He deploys his own treasures without reserve. Well, I guess we're snapping back over to Saber? It sounds like it. The long sword slashes the darkness. Assassin freely wields a nearly 2-meter long sword, and Saber is still unable to step within range. She can't avoid it and falls back. The distance between the two sides does not shrink. There's 1 meter between Saber and Assassin, but that distance is enough to prevent Saber from even running up a few stone steps. She bites her lip. She doesn't have time for these skirmishes. Her opponent is typically someone who she can best in strength. She can overpower him if she used the full might of her magical energy and her sword. Just one blow. If she can just withstand that one blow, she'll easily be able to hold him down. It can be an arm or a leg. If she doesn't show that she's sustained a few scratches, there won't be another attack. The moment she receives the blow, she's confident that she can step into Assassin's range and cut her enemy into two. And yet, if that first blow manages to get her neck, well, there would be no way that she could overpower him. That's the kind of blow that this servant in front of her can execute. There's no restraint, and they're always blows that are meant to take one's life. The only possible way to prevent that is to retreat. She's at a positional disadvantage, since she can't turn and attack from the side, and the enemy's heals prevent her from moving forward. Thus, she can't step forward. She needs to reach the temple compound alive. As she stands there, Shirou and Rin are going to go up against Gilgamesh. If she's late, one of them might die. Or worse, the two of them are already... She runs. She yells as if to dispel the ominous imagery that pops in her mind and rushes up the stairs. Two trajectories collide. Seeing her rush up with abandon, Assassin swings his sword not at Saber's body, but at the sword swinging down toward him.
ほう、さすがはセイバーの剣。数回程度ならば耐えられると思ったが、一撃で曲がるとは。
Sparks fly. They try to push each other out of the way as the sword and katana clash.
受けた。アサシンが私の剣を。
Assassin's katana is fragile. While the katana may be able to cut iron in two, it is still made by humans. It cannot compete against her sword, which was forged and created by non-humans. If struck from the front with force alone, the long katana will surely be shattered. Knowing this, Assassin made Saber retreat by parrying the sword and going for her body instead. But Assassin blocked her attack. No matter how well trained and how tenacious Assassin is, his katana would not be able to fully defend against Saber's blow. The long sword that caught Saber's blow is now bent at its core. At this rate, he can no longer maintain his sharp advantage.
勝てる。無傷でこの男に勝てるのか。
She asks herself as she pushes back Assassin's long katana. Her hesitation creates an opening. There is a reason Assassin blocked her sword. Before she realizes that reason, she is standing in a particular position. She's standing at a different position. The two, who were once standing at the top and bottom of the stairs, are now level with each other. Without realizing it, Saber's body shifted to the side and she was forced to stand on a flat footing. This is a repeat of last time. They are standing level with each other. A suitable footing to wield the secret sword, Here Assassin is able to execute his magical blade. Swallow reversal. The three arching blades encircle the enemy, and the target has no chance of defending or evading. It ensures that the enemy is killed. A chill. She shudders from the chill running down her neck.
Assassin, 貴様.
Saber's strength leaves her. She can push back right now. As she is superior in strength, she can knock down Assassin and finish him off as she runs up to him, or she can run up toward the temple gate. But the outcome was going to be the same either way. If she disengages, that thing is going to come. Even if she knocks him away, whether she rushes in for the final blow or exposes her back to run up the stairs, that magical blade will be released and it will be over for her. Which means that she can't push forward. She can only let herself ease up and match Assassin's stare.
良いのか、力を弱めて。これならば、私の方からお前を弾き飛ばせるが。
Sorry, I was getting a drink of water. Assassin looks at the cornered saber with satisfaction. There is nothing callous in this mannerism, or in his mannerism. The swordsman with the long katana is simply admiring the determined look of his opponent who is seeking to recover from a hopeless situation.
このために自らの武器を傷つけたのか、アサシン。
無論、拉致が開かぬのでな、勝負をつけに来た。これならば、以前のお前に戻ろうと思ってな。果たし合いの最中に、後のことなど考えるな。
She holds her breath. Assassin's words tell her that he sees right through her, yet it does not sound insulting. The compound is in flames. The sounds of swords clashing and breaking. There's no doubt it's the sound of Gilgamesh and Shirou fighting.
どうやら縁も竹縄というところだな。こんなところで門前払いを受けている場合ではないぞ、セイバー。
アサシン。
Saber grips her sword tightly. She puts magical energy into her sword in an attempt to repel the obstacle in front of her. But she can't. This very moment is her end. If she breaks the distance between herself and Assassin, she would be walking into Assassin's scheme. She grits her teeth in frustration. She wields her sword that is infused with magical energy, but she is unable to do anything. There.
何を迷う？お互いやるべきことは一つだろう。
The swordsman says it clearly.
アサシン。
もとより、我らは役割を果たすためだけに呼び出された。
Oh, but of course.
私がこの門を守るように、お前にも守るものがある。ならば、迷う隙などあるまい。それにな、セイバー。時間がないのは、お前に限った話ではない。
He has a fair point on that one. There is no pretense in his voice. This is the first and last time the fictional swordsman speaks the truth of his heart. His wish to have a fight to the death. That is the swordsman's wish. The swordsman's wish, excuse me, his reward for getting summoned to this age and guarding the gate this entire time.
失礼をした。確かに、お互い時間はない。
She releases the magical energy in her sword. The unrestrained power that gets released blows back Assassin. He goes back about 2 meters. Saber does not move, even though she is within Assassin's best range. She neither runs to the temple gate nor toward Assassin. She unleashes her seal. Her sword is revealed and Saber confronts Assassin. There's no hesitation in her eyes. She will use her entire strength if need be. Her eyes declare that she will use all of her strength to defeat the enemy in front of her. No hesitation now, huh? Which, you know, I do wonder if she does this, will she even be able to help out after? No words will be exchanged from now. The imaginary swordsman slowly readies his long katana. He readies his strongest sword technique against the greatest enemy of his life. Oh, I wonder how that's all going to go down. Hopefully it goes well for Saber, obviously, but, you know, if it doesn't, then they both die. And then what happens here, you know? But we'll save it, and I guess we're going into it in the next one, guys. It's go time. We might be able to finish things off here, you know? If the finales of these, you know, battles come up, which it's possible one has already, you know, met its finale between Assassin and Saber here, then really all that's left is this fight and whatever epilogue, and that's pretty much it, I think. But we'll see in the next episode. It might be the last. It might be the second to last. Who knows? But what a wild ride this has been. Thank you all for tuning into this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.